almost like I gave him the keys of the car. It's like, okay, you drive the car now. I'm just gonna sit in the back and enjoy and watch the scenery.
Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Belgian Jasper. If this is your first time in the channel, hit subscribe right now.
So Max, thank you so much for your time today. I know that you're extremely busy because you're going to get on the road again for a long time. In a previous conversation we had, we also spoke about, hey, should we one day keep our fingers crossed for seeing you guys play a special show with all the instrumental Soulfly songs, just, every single one of them for the anniversaries that are happening all the time now, given that it's been going for over 25 years. I know that you're already working on the 13th Soulfly album, and anything happening there with the instrumental Soulfly songs?
Not yet. I mean, I've been actually be saving them. I never even played them live yet, which is quite tempting. Every time I do a tour, I'm thinking, do you think I should throw one of those on this tour? And I end up not doing it. And so they've been saved, which is kind of cool. So it makes a bit more special. If I have my pick, my way of doing it, I would have go to Manaus, which is in the rainforest. In the Amazon. They have this beautiful theater. It was built by the Portuguese, and they use all the gold from the jungle, and it's full of gold. It's a masterpiece of a theater. And they have a really cool orchestra there, so it'll be kind of like the Metallica thing with the orchestra. But I think it's a famous orchestra from the rainforest, and some of the instruments are actually local Brazilian instruments. That could be really interesting if you do a night of instrumentals with this kind of orchestra in this kind of environment, in the jungle, in this theater. It'll be quite phenomenal.
Exactly.
This is just thought.
Of course. But all the fans can dream for the 30th anniversary of Soulfly, which is coming up faster than you might realize.
You'll be here any minute.
Exactly. Let's focus on Go Ahead and Die. You guys are about to go on an epic tour. Feels, in a similar mindset as the last Soulfly club tour. A lot of shows, dark, small, cool underground venues. We've not really seen Go Ahead and Die live, broadly. So apart from a ton of sweat, what can we expect from this tour?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen Go Ahead and Die yet either. We only play one show.
Exactly,
in Phoenix, and that was a long time ago when we first made the first record. Many things have changed with Go Ahead and Die. We have a new drummer, Johnny. We have a female bass player, Jackie, which is a new thing for me to have a woman in the band. That's really cool. I'm following the footsteps of Tom Warrior. I saw that he did that. It's like, oh, that looks cool. That sounds cool. Yeah. Let's do something like that. It'll be interesting. And she's really cool, though. Really cool person and great bass player. I'm doing a bit of solos, crazy ambient noises, a bit like Voivod mixed with dive bombs and shit. So yeah, I think I'm as excited, and I don't know what Go Ahead and Die is gonna be like live yet. I just know it's gonna be a little bit different. I know that I'm not in the center of the stage. I already said that. Igor will be in the center. I want to be on the side, so I can change my position after 30 years of being the front man. I'll be the side man. Which is great. I love that. So yeah, I think it's a killer tour. I think for a fan point of view, I think it's quite cool. They get to see, because I have such a long career and all these iconic records and all this shit, all this baggage. And of course, there's always I really appreciate all the you know the comments like, oh,
Of
you're a
course.
you're a legendary guy. You makes me feel old, but appreciate it. Um, you get a chance to see us, me playing a smaller venue, more intimate, in your face. You can touch it. You can get really close to me. And I love that, man. I think that's the essence. I talked one time to I work with Bob Marley's graphic designer
Okay.
for Soulfly Records, and he told me, I always this is gonna stay in my memory forever. He goes, the best time to see Bob Marley was the first shows he did in Jamaica when there was 20 people in the audience. It was never that good again.
Hmm.
Even the great shows that he did, he say it will never be as good as that. It's kind of cool, in a way. It's like almost like the rawest that you can see an artist is probably when they go into this intimate,
Yeah,
small kind of situation, you know. So I kind of kept that in mind, and we like kind of use that as inspiration for this kind of tours. I think, and go ahead and it's all about aggression and energy and fun. Is
yeah,
the
yeah,
is the
yeah,
fun
yeah,
of
yeah.
metal.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
fun
yeah.
of playing metal. So it'll be really cool. We're excited to hit the road, especially after pandemic and all that's finally behind us. We can get back to normal, get back to playing, seeing fans, meeting fans. Go ahead and die. It's cool. I created this of course, this alter ego Sheriff Buzzkill guy. Um, and he's like this sheriff that does drugs and fucking loves metal and doesn't give a fuck about the law, and he's a crazy party guy. Yeah, I think like I'm actually coming out as Sheriff Buzzkill for the last song of the set with the hat and the
Yeah, yeah,
shirt,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's gonna be a part of the show now. It'll be cool. It'll be fun, man. It's just having fun with metal a little bit, and don't be so serious all the time. There's serious topics, but you can always there's always room for a little bit of sense of humor and having fun with. There's nothing wrong with that.
Igor obviously also mentioned recently that it's not just fun; it's going to be danger too. That you're bringing on the road. But the way it all came together, the way that the albums were written, the fun you guys clearly had with music videos and so on. Was that for you something that was always only going to be possible doing it with family, or was it harder because you're doing it with family to be so carefree is not the right word, but letting go a little bit. What's the mentality for you in working with your son in this project?
But yeah, so there's different things that go into Go Ahead and Die that I like about it. One of the things was kind of like almost like I gave him the keys of the car. It's like, okay, you drive the car now. I'm just gonna sit in the back and enjoy and watch the scenery. So I like, he wrote most of the riffs, wrote most of the lyrics, produced the album. I was like pushing him the way I was pushed when I was making my early records. So I wanted to see him like, let's see what you do with this kid. I want to see you run with this. And I was very impressed by what I got out of, what I got from it. It was incredible and amazing. Like I almost feel a little bit alleviated, like passing the torch. It's like it's safe now. I think the Cavalera name is in great hands.
Mm-hmm.
If I retire or die, it's in good hands for the future. The other thing is the not care thing that you mentioned, which is quite right. It's like giving zero fucks about anything, because there's no really expectations.
Mm-hmm.
We know this is not gonna be. We're not gonna win a Grammy with this record, and it's not gonna be album of the year. So when you don't have those kind of pressures, you just do whatever the fuck you want, man. It's the most free you can feel. There's no pressure. There's nobody from the label calling, we need to Grammy, you know, we need to win album of the year, or we need a pop song, or we need a hit single. You know, I cannot imagine the pressure of being in a pop band and have to have a hit single every time you make a record. That's torturous. That's I don't want that. I don't want any part of that. I want to have fun with the music, do the music that I want, the way I want, and these records are total freedom because of that. We just do whatever we want on it. You know, really no rules at all. We throw all the rules out of the window and just do whatever we want. You know, in fact, like when we were making this record, nobody even knew or cared that we were making the record. You know, it's the most, it's the best situation to be when you're making a record like this. It's very, very fun. Very free. You feel very free to do whatever you feel like doing it, and I really enjoy, especially this new, because I think the new record is deeper and more focused than the first one. The first one was just, yeah, this is the idea. It's mixing punk and metal. The second one I think is deeper, more mature, and just has more personality. And I love the subject that Igor decided to create around the mental health. The whole thing about mental health, it's like really cool. I never thought of making a record that talks about that. So that was another really great thing to be part of it. And yeah, I think it was the right thing to do for me. You know, I kind of go from one project to the other, kind of jump from one to the other, and you know, right now is Go Ahead and Die time, and later on, who knows? I probably gonna have to work on a new Soulfly record.
Probably.
Eventually, you know, record it. Hopefully, it'll come out next year. But we're enjoying the Go Ahead and Die record this time, and the tour, and even doing one of the coolest fun thing was when we introduced Jackie as a bass player. We did a little Facebook Live thing in the living room, and one of the comments was like, "This looks like some kind of high school project." I thought that was great. I was like, "That's so cool." It's so punk rock, man. It's like opposite of big productions.
Exactly.
That people expect sometimes. It's like the complete opposite of that. You know, it's so raw. And it's so DIY. It's great.
So when you talk about expectations of your other, you know, projects and bands and pressure that comes with, you know, the Cavalera name, there's no doubt about it. And then also saying that, you know, working with Igor to make you feel that, yeah, the name is in good hands. I want to ask you about something. I got a chance to interview Igor over 2 years ago when Go Ahead and Die was first being worked on. And he shared with me that, you know, he felt like that he had to grow up quite fast and grow a thick skin quite fast because he was, you know, joining on tours and what have you. And as a kid was around and people, you know, knew the Cavalera Kid. And I think he mentioned, you know, people can be very mean, you know, especially when you have like the name of a, you know, very famous person. And whether you want it or not, he was in the spotlight much faster than other people would be. What was that like for you as a father, you know, seeing, you know, kids go through that, and trying to balance, you know, being with family, trying to have them with you, trying to also, you know, protect them from that spotlight. Luckily, you know, a couple of years ago, maybe before the craziness of social media and all that kind of stuff. But for you as a father, like, what's that been like, you know, raising a family through this roller coaster of a metal career that you've had?
Yeah, I mean, most of the raising was done by Gloria. I'm more of like the friend dad, you know. It's like I'm not very good at the whole dad rule thing, you know, strict dad. I'm not like that. My father wasn't like that, so I think I got that from him.
Right.
which kind of gets me in trouble a couple of times. Like Gloria will come to me like, "You're not their friend, you're their father. You have to discipline them, and this and that." But yeah, I think it's we have a quite unique family, man. It's quite cool, like the way we created our family. I remember mentioning it to Gloria. It was like before Zion was born and Igor was like I talked to her. I was like, we're gonna create our own tribe, and then from that tribe we're gonna it's gonna develop into a bigger tribe. And she was didn't quite understand what the fuck I was talking about. What are you talking about? But it was this feeling of the family comes first, and then we're gonna be different. We're gonna actually bring them on tour with us, and we're not gonna hide from the world that we have kids. We're actually gonna announce to the world. So I was under the idea that to me was to be very open to the fans. Like, yes, I have kids. I'm a father now, and I'm proud to be a father, and you should be too if you have kids.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
doesn't make you any less hard person because you're a family man. And that was my whole idea. It was because a lot of people has this idea that if you become a family man, and so you're soft, you're not metal anymore, and all this bullshit. And I was the complete opposite. And I knew I heard of some musicians that were hiding family from because they were afraid of
Yeah, yeah,
losing
yeah, yeah.
fans. And I thought that was ridiculous. So we did the opposite. I think we made Roadrunner make did a photo shoot with me, Gloria, and Zion, and those band
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
photos. We had one of us that we sent out to the press people, which was that's crazy to think about that. And then when Igor was born, we had to do that again. But they've been on the road with us, and I think it's so great because they got a different education
Yeah,
from if they would have never learned all this in school.
exactly.
They saw the real world. They went to Russia. They went to South Africa. They went to Brazil. They saw ghettos. They saw uh, poor people on the street. They saw corruption. They slept on amplifiers while Black Sabbath is singing on the background. You have like Ozzy singing, and they're sleeping in their Black Sabbath guitar cases. It's fucking cool. I love that. I love that, and I wouldn't change for anything.
Max, there's a million things I could still ask you, and we're running out of time fast. Why don't I wrap you up with a bit of a different question? Zion and Igor are so important to you, but there's another person that's been really important to you as well in the last few years, from an artistic perspective. Everybody is raving basically about every album you've been put out in the last 7-8 years, and a bit of a constant in that is your increased collaboration with Arthur as well. Arthur Rizk, one of the most omnipresent people in metal that tries to stay away from the spotlight as well, but people that really like metal know who Arthur Rizk is and the magic that he does. How important has he been for you as an artist in these last couple of releases?
Oh, Arthur's been great. We have this really cool relationship that kind of was born out of friendship first. We became friends first, and we realized that we like a lot of the same dorky heavy metal stuff from the 80s. So I even mentioned to him once, I said, you probably would have been my best friend if I was in high school. If I was back in school in Brazil and you sat right behind me, we'd be the two troublemakers of school. We'd be the ones wearing the leather jackets and getting in trouble and listen to metal. So you're like my high school friend. And from that on, it created into, we worked together on Cavalera Conspiracy, and then we worked together on all the Morbid Visions, the re-recordings, and then of course Soulfly Totem. was a huge one where Arthur was like, I want to make the best Soulfly record I can make. And I think it's quite unique. You know, he's very total different producer than the normal producer.
Yeah.
You know, it's more like a friend that you hang out with and make records with.
Yeah.
Kind of absurd that's even. And he's a bit of a like a wizard too.
Yeah.
He has
Yeah.
tricks, man. He has stuff that he pulls that is like, I try to get out of him and he will not tell me the secret sauce.
Awesome. Yeah. So Arthur is a producer in the style that you are a father, it sounds like. A friend first and helping you find some magic. Max, again,
and he got a lot of stuff out of me that I don't, maybe other producer probably wouldn't get it like that, the way he did, you know. So it was cool. It was a really cool collaboration, and I think, to me, and I think it's so cool that he's like the underground guy, right? Like he does all these crazy fucking underground records. He sends me them from time to time, you know, and I was like, what are you doing? This is insane. This is crazy. Amazing, but crazy record productions, you know, they sound fucking nuts.
Absolutely.
I love Arthur because of that, man. It's quite a unique guy.
He's one of the best, there's no doubt about it. Max, like I said, I could ask you a million more questions that I wish I could, but I want to be respectful of your time. I know that you're busy, and you know, if you're not making interviews, you have to get ready for this crazy tour with Go Ahead and Die that will basically play in every town in the States, because you're on the road for so long and you're going to do so many cool shows. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I can't wait to see you on a stage many times this year with many different bands. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And I wish you the best with this tour.
All right, man. Good to talk to you, Jasper. Take care, all right?
Cheers.
You are awesome for watching this video. Click right here to see more content like it and subscribe to the channel.